And today we are joined with a very special guest, Dr. Bandana Chawla.
So, Dr. Bandana is doing some amazing work out in the community. She's a board certified physician in internal medicine and lifestyle medicine. She graduated from UT Southwestern Medical School and completed her residency training at the Texas Medical Center. She's been practicing as an internist in the Houston area for over 20 years. And over the years, she's incorporated the tenets of lifestyle medicine, LM, into her practice and has seen her patients not only lose weight, but also improve their diabetes and several other health conditions. And to build on this success, she has co created lifestyledocs.com practice, which focuses on eating the right types of food, which is so important. It focuses on being fit, reducing stress, and connecting more to achieve holistic wellness. She's also the co-founder of Peaceful Planet Foundation, 501c3 nonprofit, which fosters peace, health, and wellness in Houston and the surrounding communities. So, our conversation today with Dr. Bandana Chawla is going to be all about healing the mind, body, and soul with lifestyle medicine.
I love it. And we're so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Christopher and Sarah. It's a real pleasure to be here. I can't wait to share these tips with your viewers.
Well, you have so much to offer, and that's exactly why we brought you on for this conversation because
Mhm.
we know you've, again, as Sarah's mentioned, you've worked in the field for so long. So this is crucial
Mhm.
to everybody's growth, healing, and transformation.
Absolutely. So, how would you say practicing and applying lifestyle medicine is important for reigniting our spirit and moving along that path of self discovery?
So I feel if we're working on our spiritual health, we also really need to focus on physical and mental and emotional health. And before I go into that, I want to give your viewers a little overview of lifestyle medicine, if that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Actually brought a little, can you guys see this pretty good?
Yes, you
Infographic
can.
from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine website. So lifestyle medicine talks about these 6 pillars as being what we need to focus on.
Hmm.
And I love that they put it like a puzzle piece because it's also interconnected and interrelated, right? So we've got the nutrition aspect, exercise, stress management, healthy relationships, sleep, and avoidance of tobacco, alcohol, drugs, other risky
Hmm.
behaviors.
Hmm.
So, um, if we are wanting, I'm sorry, I should have turned off my phone. If we're wanting to find our divine self, then we need to work also within this body. I mean, during our human experience, this body is a big part of our life. And so, even if we're focusing on our soul health, we still need to focus on the body. And these 6 pillars really help us take better care of our body, mind, emotions, and then hence our soul as well.
Mm, mhm, mhm. It's definitely interconnected like that.
It's all interconnected. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm curious, why do you think that, so many people in the spiritual and personal development communities have forgotten about the importance of the physical component to wellness and holistic health?
I think it's the same reason that people in the medical community have forgotten about the mental, emotional, and spiritual components.
Mhm,
I think in this modern world, we tend to see things through a very reductionist lens. So we focus very much on our one thing and try to not worry about the others. But that's not how our human health works. So, in a way, we're just looking at the leaf and not the whole tree.
Hmm.
And we're
mhm,
definitely not looking at the whole forest.
mm,
And that's what I see a lot happening in the medical communities. They're just focusing on the physical health, and I am seeing the same thing in the spiritual community. Is they're just focusing on the spiritual health and not the other components. But we are a whole person, so we really need to not take the reductionist approach, but more of a holistic approach and look at
mhm.
the whole person.
It's interesting. Some part of me wonders if people are afraid of change. If you're in a spiritual community and you're working so strongly on yourself in so many ways and aspects, but then it brings up the topic of physical health, there's almost maybe an underlying fear too. Would you say to changing the diet,
Mm.
changing the exercise, making more improvement in your life? And then maybe on the physical aspect, perhaps not even believing in the spiritual side of things is a struggle, or because it's not necessarily so tangible compared to the physical component.
Well, and I think it could be quite overwhelming for a lot of people to,
Mm.
have this grand undertaking of trying to change all
Mhm.
aspects of ourself. And I know it could be overwhelming when we're dealing with uh, maybe a lot of anxiety or a lot of mental imbalances, and then we have to worry about the physical and changing that part. But I see it as almost like a step by step process that then integrates into
Mhm.
this wholeness, right? And it's
Mhm.
it's a journey. It takes time. It's
Mhm.
not doesn't it doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you both nailed it. That's so true. The fear of change is so strong.
Mhm.
Um, and change is hard, even when it's for the better, it's hard. But having that awareness and knowing that this is hard, but I can still take baby steps in that direction, um, that makes a big difference.
Mhm.
Just being aware that yes, I'm fearful of this change and it's not going to be easy, but I'll do what I can and I'll do baby steps, um, has helped a lot of my patients move in that direction.
Hmm.
What would you say, beyond the fear of change, if there are any other, are there other blocks that you find your patients really struggle with regarding grasping the holistic approach?
Well, for one thing, there's a lot of confusion out there, and a lot of the confusion is created on purpose. So,
Mm.
let's say for diet, to me, the research is clear with lifestyle medicine being an evidence based field. We are looking at research not just from epidemiologic studies, like looking at the blue zones and areas where people are living very long, healthy lives, how they're eating, and it's a predominantly plant based diet. And also research from things like China study, Dean Ornish's studies, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn studies, which shows that we can reverse heart disease. We can reverse these diseases with diet. So the research is clear, but yet then they see Time Magazine article saying butter is back, or
Yep.
keto diet is good for you, or paleo diet is good. So there's a lot of confusion, and that's a big block for people as well because they feel like, well, what am I going to believe? So let me just do whatever I want to do because I don't know what to do.
Mm.
I love that you said it's almost the confusion is created on purpose. What do you think the motive is to create such confusion, and who's causing the confusion?
So a lot of it is the are the companies, the corporations, the dairy, meat, eggs industry, and also processed food industry. Right? They need to sell their product. We like to make parallels between what's happening now and what happened with the tobacco industry not that long ago. The tobacco industry, when you go back and look at their communications with each other, they basically said doubt is our product.
Mm.
Mm.
So they went out and funded these studies that would show that smoking is not bad for you. I mean, we knew for a very long time that smoking was bad for you before it was accepted in the society. And we're going through exact same thing now with animal products and processed foods to where they are funding the studies. There's so many studies that are saying egg is wonderful that are funded by the egg industry, or the dairy industry is funding studies. And dairy industry actually, a couple of decades ago, basically went to schools and offered that we will provide all your nutrition leaflets for your students and education, so you don't have to worry about it. We'll provide the nutrition education. So when that comes in so early in our formative years that we have been taught milk does a body good or whatever else we learned in lower school, that's really hard to undo later in life.
Mhm. Yeah, there's no hidden agenda there.
No, absolutely not. It's wide out. It's in the wide open. It's out there for people to really see. And I have a really interesting question that maybe you can speak to. What is it beyond the physical that these plant-based foods that you talk about, how does that change our energy bodies? What is the energetic components of these foods, of eating lighter, not as dense? What does that do to our spiritual bodies?
So I'll give you some examples of myself and what my patients have experienced. For me, I was never overweight, so I only lost like 3 to 5 pounds when I went vegan, or later even stricter in terms of plant based. Um, but I would notice, like, yoga is easier and
Mm.
meditation is easier. Just those 3 pounds, I could do poses much better, and sleep was better. And like we saw it in the lifestyle medicine thing, it's all connected. Then if sleep is better, the next day my mood is better.
Mm.
So everything, just, it's a domino effect of improving our health. And in terms of my patients, so I expected that as they moved to a plant-based diet, they would get off of their gout medicines, their diabetes medicines. And I see that all the time. The fatty liver goes away, the heart disease goes away. Um, but one thing that surprised me was that their depression was going away,
Mm.
Mhm.
and they were now weaning themselves off of their depression medicines. And I would say, well, you haven't asked for these refills. And they said, well, we haven't needed them anymore since we changed our diet. And
Mm.
so I had to do a bit of research to see why that was. And I know we can kind of go into, maybe emotionally they're feeling better because they're living their values, and they're no longer hurting animals, and they're no longer going through they're no longer ingesting the emotional pain that animals go through. But I really kind of wanted to stick with the science of it. And what I found in the scientific literature basically that explains it is that eating more plant based foods changes our gut microbiome.
Mhm.
And so much research has come out in the last 5 years about that, to where these bacteria in our colon are so important, not just for our physical health, but also our mental and emotional health. Scientists now believe that 90% of serotonin, the feel good hormone that's produced in our body, is produced by these little bacteria in our
Mhm.
gut. So it's not produced in our brain, it's produced in our gut. So that gut brain connection has really come out in the last few years. So that's another reason that when people move towards a plant based diet, they feel happier.
I'm really so happy that you're able to provide such a wealth of knowledge on this subject, because when Chris and I were creating this master class, these conversations, and we were thinking about who to invite on, we, being plant-based ourselves and vegan, wanted someone as educated as yourself and just like boots on the ground approach with people to really explain exactly like how you have, with
Mm.
why these foods are so nourishing for our spirit. Because I hear it a lot in our communities, where when we talk about animal products versus plant foods. There's a lot of confusion there. And we just want to offer your information to our viewers to get curious. If you feel attacked by any means because you eat animal products, or, nobody's trying to change you. She's simply providing a wealth of knowledge and information for you to make an informed decision. And of course, we're here as proponents of the lifestyle and feel so radiant because of it. Um,
Mhm.
and this kind of leads me into more of a philosophical question for you. If we all lived in alignment with our body, our mind, our soul health, what do you think that could ultimately do for the world?
Wow, that's such a good question. I think it would basically lead to harmony and peace in the world if we lived in alignment with our mind, body, and soul. Um, Actually, one of my favorite books is World Peace Diet by Dr. Will Tuttle. And
Mm.
that's how I found the two of you, because he posted, I guess it's a couple of years ago now, that he was interviewed for Soul and Wonder podcast. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
so I checked it out and I listened. And I've just been so impressed by the work that you two have been doing to bring peace, love, joy, and good health to your fellow human beings. Um, Anyways, to get back to the question, that book made me see the connections and the
Mhm.
parallels to where I realized that the reason there's so much violence and suffering in the world is because we're not living our values, and we're not in alignment when it comes to our mind, body, and spirit. And so to have that alignment would think would really bring harmony and peace at our individual levels, inner
Mhm.
peace, and also outer peace, world peace as well.
Mhm.
Mm. Uh,
Especially when such a strong value in the spiritual communities is compassion.
Compassion. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and that is interesting to see where the some of the disconnects might be. But again, as we mentioned, we wanted to provide you from a more scientific perspective of what this type of lifestyle could do for you, and we could possibly draw the conclusion that if we're able to enhance our physical health, then all aspects will then almost come into alignment. Not that we don't have to have certain practices around certain things, certain spiritual practices that we have, but by just changing that one component, that physical component, again, we can probably see a little bit more happiness, a little bit more fulfillment,
Mhm.
because we're changing ourselves from the inside
Mhm.
out. And so
Mhm.
I really like how you mentioned that before.
Mhm. Mhm. So, what are some simple steps our viewers can take today if they're curious about even just exploring the plant based lifestyle and lifestyle medicine in
And
general?
and do you have any sort of resources that you might be able to offer as well?
Sure, sure, absolutely. So, American College of Lifestyle Medicine is a great website where people can look up stuff. Plantrition Project is also excellent. Nutritionfacts.org, amazing. That has a really good search function too. So if you have questions on anything, like studies that have been done on turmeric or amla powder or hibiscus tea or just anything, you can go put it in the search and there'll probably be a few 3 to 5 minute videos that go into the science and the research that's been done that shows what it's good for or not good for, that it's just hyped up and it really hasn't proven to show to improve anything.
Mhm.
um, in terms of few simple tips, so I'm going to share a few catchy phrases with your viewers that I feel like are very easy for me to remember and many of my patients to remember. And I'm going to give credit to the person I got these phrases for, which is Dr. Darren Morton. He is an Australian psychologist, and his article was published not that long ago in American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, and the article is called Combining Lifestyle Medicine and Positive Psychology to Improve Mental Health and Emotional Well Being. Okay,
Mm.
so these are the 6 phrases, and then he gives research on all of them on why that's true. Okay, so the first is food feeds mood.
Mm.
Okay, so we have plenty of research. The more fruits and vegetables and whole grains and nuts and seeds and beans that you eat, the next day, the better your mood is. So food feeds mood. Number 2, motion creates emotion.
Mm.
Again, exercise, physical movement, all of that improves our mood as well. Number 3, blue and green should often be seen. So being outdoors, being in nature, really improves our mental and emotional well-being. And again, now we know from research that actually being outdoors improves our gut microbiome as well.
Mhm.
So that again leads to more happiness. I mean, most of our human life, we've spent a lot more time outdoors than we are right now. Our ancestors were not eating probiotics.
No.
They were just eating foods high in fiber and resistant starch and being outdoors, and that's what helps those bacteria grow. Everything in nature wants to grow and reproduce if they've been given the right environment, including the good bacteria inside us. So, blue and green should often be seen. Rest to feel best. Again, that importance of resting our body and resting our mind. So even when we're sleeping, which lifestyle medicine recommends 7 to 8 hours a night, a lot of times our mind is still racing, even in our sleep. So a bit of meditation or mindfulness activities is a great way to rest the mind as well.
Mm.
Number 5, feelings follow focus. And I know you've touched upon that in a lot of your podcasts. This is where the field of positive psychology comes in. And Martin Seligman has done a lot of research that shows how, focusing on certain things, especially gratitude practice, that a lot of research has shown really improves our emotional and mental health as well. And then number 6 is giving is living. So doing stuff for other people, not focusing so much on ourselves, actually makes us happy. It improves our mental and emotional health as well. So
That's beautiful.
I
I
love
love
it.
that. I'm going to
And
use those myself as reminders because even when you're walking this lifestyle already, you have dips and, mountains and valleys and it's all a journey, a process. So I want to encourage viewers who feel like they have to be perfect in this. It's absolutely not the case. It's about just tuning in with yourself and being patient and reminding yourself when you've forgotten perhaps one component of this holistic lifestyle.
we just want to ask you to end this session with you is do you have any certain, updates that or any projects that you're working on that you want to tell our viewers about?
yeah. So my husband and I have gotten so passionate about lifestyle medicine that he's actually leaving radiology, very nice, well-paying job, to come into lifestyle medicine with me. And we've opened a true lifestyle medicine clinic in Houston, Texas now. So besides primary care, we also have this multi-purpose room where we have yoga classes, meditation sessions, cooking classes,
Wow.
um, group visits, patient potlucks. We do plant-based potlucks at clinic. Um, and we're also starting to provide immersion programs like 12-week weight loss program or diabetes reversal program or autoimmune disease reversal program.
Mm.
Starting January of 2020, we'll start also offering some of these programs online as telemedicine. So our passion now, for 20 years, I've been practicing internal medicine and I've been managing chronic diseases. And now I get to see reversal because patients and I can now work together and co create plans to where they can start working on these 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine, whatever steps they're ready for, and start reversing diseases. Now I'm actually getting people off of insulin instead of just increasing it, every
Mhm.
year.
Man, what a fulfilling dharma you have in this lifestyle, in this lifetime, in this community. It's just such a beautiful thing to have connected with you and to talk about something that's so, so important.
Yeah, and again, we thank you so much for joining us, and just so excited to see your journey unfold and to see where all of that takes you. And we'll be here for moral support along the way.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be part of this journey with you. You guys are doing amazing work, and I'm so glad we're on the same path.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye bye.